This is the Royals POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Kansas City Royals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into the Royals POSTCAST on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chance Liebau, and I'm here to bring you reaction to every single Royals game the rest of the season. You can follow me on Twitter at Chance Liebau. That's at ChanceLiebau. If you cannot make a show live, do not worry. These episodes will be uploaded for you to listen to on demand wherever you get your podcast. Thank you for making the Locked On Royals podcast or the Royals POSTCAST your first listen of the day. Before we go on and get started, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on our notifications if you're new, because we do these after every single Royals game. Why wouldn't you want to come be here and react to the Royals game? We do this after every single game. Rain, sleet, snow, day, night, sun or shine, we will be here for Royals reactions here on the Royals POSTCAST. And we would love it if you joined the chat. Let us know your thoughts on the game. Obviously, a really rough performance tonight by the boys in blue as they fall 7-5 against the Detroit Tigers in game one of a 3-game series. Stepping away from the home ballpark, and the Royals just didn't get it done tonight. A pretty abysmal performance from a lot of different pieces in tonight's game for the Royals. This is definitely not going to be a fun episode. It's going to be a pretty short episode. I'm kind of worn out. I'm tired. I didn't find myself really excited for this series whatsoever. I'm more of a football guy personally, and I was really excited for K-State tomorrow, and this kind of felt like an afterthought. So maybe that's just me personally, but it felt like this one really just – I didn't enjoy this game at all. It wasn't fun. The broadcast was pathetic. I hate the Apple TV broadcast. I don't enjoy the play-by-play and color commentary. The sideline reporting is pretty bad. So I just didn't enjoy tonight's game whatsoever. But hopefully this postcast will be a little bit better than tonight's game was. All right, let's get right into it. Royals lose, final score 7-5. Vinny puts lipstick on the pig there at the end, but at the end of the day, the Royals still fall to the Tigers. Let's get right into it. Here's what you'll be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
The 6th and 7th inning is probably going to be what's at the forefront of everybody's mind. The 6th inning, I thought it was. There are some people in the chat that are blaming it on Angel Serpa. What are we doing? Angel Serpa, that's the second home run that Angel Serpa has given up since May 16th. He has a 0.87 ERA in his last 11 games coming into tonight. Angel Serpa had been one of the best bullpen arms and most reliable bullpen arms all season for the Royals. He has been absolutely incredible. Yesterday, getting that massive double play, or was that I can't remember if it was yesterday or 2 nights ago that he gets the massive double play to get out of an inning. I mean, he's done his job time and time again. Tonight, he just had his blow up, and now his ERA balloons all the way up to. Let's see. Angel Serpa's ERA balloons up to 3.69. So if you want to throw a hissy fit about a 3.69 ERA, go right ahead. Angel Serpa's been very, very good all season long. I was fine with him getting the opportunity. I was fine with him getting against Riley Green. Who else would you have gone to out of the bullpen in that opportunity? I didn't want Ryan Bergert facing Riley Green for the third time through the order. Riley Green is the best hitter, bar none, in that Tigers lineup. You had to go lefty-lefty, or you should have gone lefty-lefty, which they did. And give credit to Riley Green. You tip your cap. Riley Green made you pay. And then, from that point on, Bailey Falter comes in because, the Royals bullpen is exhausted right now. They have used a ton of guys here recently to get through that homestand. They didn't have an off day. This was a really, really rough go of it for the bullpen. They have been taxed. They have not gotten very much length for very many of their starters. So I understand that this was, obviously not the pitcher that you wanted to see come into the game. But at the same time, man, this was this was a bad blow up for Bailey Falter. 4 straight hits for the Tigers to lead off the inning. And Q just kind of had to let him go die out there, a la Sam Long. They just didn't have anybody else in the bullpen tonight. They had thrown Daniel Lynch 2 days in a row. Angel Serpa had already been used. John Schreiber, maybe you give John Schreiber an extra inning. I wouldn't have hated Johnny Schreiber to get an extra inning there. But instead, you have to die on the sword with Bailey Falter. And at this point, I think that he's kind of unsalvageable. I think that this is the Trevor Cahill acquisition from those from the 2017 Royals, I believe. This is a really, really rough go of it for the Royals bullpen. Bailey Falter has been atrocious. I don't think you can. I think that they're doing everything they can to protect him. They had to throw him into a leverage spot tonight just because they weren't able to rely on anybody else in the back end of that bullpen. This has been a really bad go of it for Bailey Falter. He's not a very good pitcher. Command is bad. Stuff is horrible. Doesn't have a go-to out pitch. That's a recipe for disaster for whether it be a starter or a bullpen guy. That just can't be good enough. And, I understand that this is frustrating. I use that word a lot, but it's just one game. And the A's and the Mariners haven't had first pitch yet. The Royals could have just not gained or lost any ground tonight. It would have felt really good if they gained some ground. But like we said, it was a little bit different after the White Sox series because we said, the Nationals and the White Sox were slumping coming into it. The Rangers were playing better baseball coming into it. And the Tigers were playing really good baseball coming into tonight. They have turned their season around by a 180. They talked about it ad nauseum on the broadcast tonight about how the Tigers, after that 1-12 stretch, they really turned their season around and have been hot since. They're still, for my money, the best team in the American League, and they played like it tonight. The Royals, say what you want about the pitching staff. Ryan Bergert was really good tonight. I really like the stuff that I saw from him. 7 up, 7 down. I mean, in terms of his stuff, Ryan Bergert was really, really good, in my opinion. I thought that he did more than enough to win a baseball game tonight. The offense just did not. So I'm impartial to what happened tonight. I don't think that it's as bad. I don't think this loss is anywhere near as bad of a loss as it was, let's say, I don't think this loss is as bad as the loss on Wednesday at all. And I think this loss kind of gets swept under the rug because a lot of Royals fans are casual fans. You have the Chiefs playing tonight. You have both state schools playing football tomorrow. So I think that there's a little bit of apathy right now going on between Royals fans. Myself personally, this game was hard for me to get really fired up for a AL Central matchup. I just felt like the Royals had played some of their best baseball, and I felt like this might be where the wheels come off, where the rubber meets the road, where the clock strikes midnight, whatever analogy you want to use for this Royals team and this run they've been on, facing a real team like Detroit. I mean, you just got to win one game and hope that Seattle doesn't sweep Sacramento or the A's, whatever you want to call them. But this was a really, really bad loss for the Royals, just because they didn't do anything right in this game. This was not a good game for them. Ryan Bergert was really just the lipstick on the pig of this loss. He was really, really good tonight. And in my opinion, everything else was not good. I get it. They scored 5 runs. Vinny hits a late 2-run homer to keep his home run streak alive. Credit to Vinny. We'll talk about him in a little bit. But the offense as a whole was just atrocious this evening, and really frustrating stuff on the bases once again, because this is one of the worst base running teams in all of baseball. And we'll talk about that because I just can't tolerate it anymore. This offense continues to shoot itself in the foot with bad base running and bad situational hitting. So we'll talk about that after this break when we come back on the Royals postcast. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5-Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. Golf is about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape ginger lime flavor of 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the bev cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA, excluding the Masters. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entries. No purchase necessary. And again, that does exclude the Masters tournament. And this ends October 31st, 2025. So fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. All right, let's talk Royals offense tonight, because that was really, really bad, all around bad outing from the Royals offense. I first inning, you get 3 singles. Bobby grounds into a double play. You get bad situational hitting again in the first inning. You have an opportunity, 2 guys on, 2 outs, can't get a job done. Story of the season for all intents and purposes. Just a bad first inning. Then you get in the third inning, or sorry, I believe this was, sorry, I'm losing track. It's been a long day. Third inning, you get back-to-back singles, Izzy and Yaz. Bobby gets an RBI single. Then you get a ground ball to first, and Yaz decides to go to the plate. Stupid decision. Just shouldn't have happened. Now, I don't understand why you would go home there. Yastrzemski is a veteran. He should know better than to go to the plate. I mean, that was a stupid play. I think that's a ball you see go through because you know you're going to score regardless. You're at third, there's less than 2 outs. There's no reason to try and push the effort there. So Yaz gets thrown out at the plate, and you get Salvi saving the day with 2 outs, a 2-run double down the left field line. Then in the fourth inning, after McKinstry hits the homer, Kyle Isbell leads off with a single down the right field line, tries to stretch it to 2, and gets gunned down. Just another stupid decision on the bases. So that is 2 guys thrown out on the bases for the Royals. Then a little bit later, then McKinstry stranded, Serpa blows it up, Schreiber strands 2. Then you get a little bit of offense. You get Yaz on a walk. Bobby Witt Jr. then grounds into yet another double play. And so then from that point on, it's falter, and it's over from that point on. The Royals tonight, as a unit, go 2 for, let me see, just a sec. Oh, sorry. 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position. 8 runners left on base. Doesn't include the 2 double plays or the 2 outs they made on the bases. So really, in my opinion, the Royals left 12 runners on base with the 2 double plays and the 2 runners thrown out. This is not a team that can survive that. This is not a team, and a bullpen especially, a pitching staff that has been taxed. This is not a bullpen that can survive, or this is not an offense and a team that can survive that kind of offensive output. That just can't happen, especially against a team like the Tigers, who are very, very good late inning hitters. This is a Tigers team that has that late flair against bullpens. 7th, 8th, 9th innings. Tigers are really good at capitalizing. The Royals are just not a good team at doing that. They go from the 3rd inning to the 9th inning today without really even threatening the Tigers whatsoever. You get a double play from Bobby, a runner thrown out. The Royals just didn't threaten at all until Vinny hit a 2-run homer with 2 outs in the 9th inning. That really didn't mean anything except for maybe somebody won a live bet. But they just did not do enough tonight offensively. Continues to be the story. The team just does not hit well with runners in scoring position. They don't have good situational hitting. Give credit to Michael Garcia for laying down a bunt tonight and being able to get a run home, but just not good enough. Just not good enough at the plate for the Royals tonight. I just find myself very frustrated with what this team was able to do. Jalen asking, can I blame Q now? What do you want to blame Q for? What is, I mean, I don't know what Q did wrong tonight. Maybe he just, I don't know. It seems like he seems to be the scapegoat for everybody. Bobby Witt Jr. played horribly tonight. They made too many outs on the bases. Bailey Falter blows up, but who in the bullpen are you going to go to in that situation? They didn't have an off day yesterday. They just desperately need an off day. This is working on, what would it be now? 3, 7. This would be 8 days in a row of Royals baseball for them. Or sorry, no, this would be 11, I believe. 11 straight days of Royals baseball. Or no, it would be 8. Sorry, my math is bad. But 8 straight days of playing games and the starting pitching. How many of the guys have gotten out of the 6th inning in those outings? Seth Lugo, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the only one of those guys. And in terms of movement up and down from Omaha to Kansas City, all we've seen is Lowinder Avila, and he made one appearance for 1 inning against the Nationals. That was over a week ago. So the bullpen and the starting pitching is doing nobody any favors. They're not getting length out of their starting pitching. They have been one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball at getting innings out of their starters. But at the same time, it's you kind of got to play the hand you're dealt. I don't blame Q at all for tonight's loss. I blame Bailey Falter for just being the guy that had to wear it. But who in the Royals bullpen are you going to throw there? You've got to get more than 5 2/3 out of Ryan Bergert. They weren't able to. You've got to be able to get more than an inning out of Angel Serpa. But, man, Angel Serpa couldn't get the third out of an inning. And Angel Serpa has been fantastic this season, man. I love what I've seen from Angel Serpa. But he wasn't able to get out of an inning. So you have to use John Schreiber. And you could see Matt Quatraro during his trips to the phone after Serpa's home run, going to the phone, and he's just visibly infuriated. Going out to the mound, he's not happy. They're just not performing. This is not on Matt Quatraro. This is on the 26 guys on the roster, more specifically the 13 guys on the pitching staff, for just not doing a good enough job. They have not pitched very well here recently. Starters, bullpen's been fine. The starters just have not given them enough leash, and they're getting blown up on. I just don't see why Matt Quatraro has to wear this more than the starting pitching staff has for the last 8 games, not being able to get through a 6th inning. This is a very highly paid, highly compensated, and highly regarded Royals pitching staff that their worst enemy just seems to be the 6th inning, and they just can't get through it. They need an off day so badly. They just need an off day so badly. They'll get it very, very soon. I believe they have one on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. No, they're back on the road to Chicago. So they need some time off. And this was going to be a tough stretch regardless. Back on the road for 6 in a row after playing a ton of games in a row at home. But they need a day off bad. They need Stephen Kolek maybe to come up. They need Lowinder Avila to make a spot bullpen appearance. They need somebody to go. They need someone's wife to go into labor so they can put somebody on the whatever list. They need something, or a phantom IL. They are just so worn out in the bullpen that Matt Quatraro just doesn't have any other options. And so I'm not putting any of this loss on Matt Quatraro. You can do that. You can do whatever you want. But I'm gonna stay reserved. I feel like Matt Quatraro has done what he's had to do. And this was a series where you just had to take at least one to feel good about yourself. And we'll see what Seattle's able to do against the A's tonight. All right, appreciate you guys for being here with us. Like I said yesterday, tomorrow's show might be a little bit weird. It might not be right after the Royals game ends. It really just depends on when the KU game ends. I do have a full-time job covering KU and covering I work for social media, so my job is really never ending. My job is 24/7. So I have to wait until at least the end of the KU football game tomorrow to go live and do this show. So I do apologize for that. If it is, 20, 30 minutes late, I do have to make sure that I do my full-time job that pays me. I have to make sure I do that job. So I will be here doing a postcast tomorrow. It will likely be a little bit delayed depending on when the Royals game ends and the KU game ends. But I appreciate you guys for being here with us. Obviously not where we wanted to be tonight. But don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so that you get notified when we go live tomorrow night for another edition of the Royals Postcast.